Hey, what's happening? Okay, let's call the meeting to order now that we have a quorum. And let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you be so kind as to call the roll?
A quorum is present for City Council, successor agency.
All right, items 9 and 10 have been pulled. Any persons wishing to address the City Council, successor agency, housing authority on any item on today's agenda, with the exception of 9 or 10, may do so at this time. Hearing no comment, we move on to the agenda. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1. Madam Clerk.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. Consent calendar items 2 through 8, 9 and 10 have been pulled.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson, Padilla,
Aye.
Buds,
Aye. A1,
No report, Mayor.
CM1, CC1.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to, happy City Clerk, Municipal City Clerk Week. Oh, thank you. It doesn't really stay, that's. So it's Municipal City Clerks Week, and as you may or may not know, the city clerk's role is one of the oldest public servant profession dating back to biblical times and showing up in ancient Greece, France, and England, as well as the colonial America. So happy Municipal Clerk to Deputy City Clerk Yvonne Horton.
Thank you so much. Reports from the City Treasurer, CT1.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to mention that I did purchase a CD this morning. It's a pretty good CD at the rate of 2.60, and it was purchased through Raymond James. $1,000. It's a 5-year non-call for 1 year, so that was an excellent CDs by Eagle Rock Bank, and they have a very good rating also. Also would like to mention that the unemployment rate is historic low at 3.6%, and the federal fund rate, the vote was unanimously 10 in favor for keeping the interest rate unchanged, currently in the range of 2.25 to 2.50. And the Fed upgraded its view of the economy by stating that the economic activity rose at a solid rate, but did recognize that household spending and business investment slowed in the first quarter. Also, the Fed also adjusted its language on inflation to acknowledge that core inflation has declined and running below 2% as opposed to just remaining near 2%. The Fed reiterated that it will be patient as it determines what adjustments to make to the Fed fund target. And finally, in a separate statement, the Fed said that it will set the interest rate paid on required and excess reserve balances at 2.3.5% from 2.4, effective 5.02 as of 19. Also would like to mention that the economic manufacturing fell in April, and also the U.S. stock market plunged today, with the Dow losing nearly 500 points and NASDAQ slid below the 8,000 point by 159. Also would like to wish the city clerk, all city clerks, happy City Clerk Day, and also all of the mothers, happy Mother's Day. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you, Madam City Treasurer. Public comments. Any person wishing to address the City Council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered may do so at this time.
Hello, everyone. First and foremost, we'd like to thank the City Council and the Mayor for extending the rent moratorium and also sharing the recommendations after doing some further research. Overall, I think the recommendations are pretty good, and definitely a step in the right direction. It will definitely provide stabilization for thousands of residents throughout the city, but fails to help those who have already experienced rent gouging. For instance, people that have already experienced rent increases up to 10, 30, 50%. They're already in danger of being displaced with or without a permanent rent control ordinance. So, Uplift Inglewood, we propose that we have a rent rollback for residents that have received rent increases higher than 10% or more. We feel that it should be folks that have experienced the rent increases or received the rent increases from October 30th, 2017, going back to that date. And at the very, yes?
Sir, we're at time right now.
Okay. And at the very least,
Sir?
at least from January 4th of this year. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. My 1 minute, is it a question and a comment? Can I ask a question to
No,
the
you have
board?
1 minute to do whatever you
Whatever.
want to do.
Okay, I have a question with regard to rent control. Is there a reason we're not looking at the CPI? Is there a reason why Inglewood is not considering using that number for rent control, the CPI? And then secondly, I wanted to suggest perhaps when you do this ordinance or how you're retaking rent control, can we have a rent elected board for rent control that kind of oversees matters? I know the city of Berkeley has 9 members that meet once a month that oversee rent control. Those are my suggestion, and my second was a question about the CPI.
Thank you so much.
Do I get an answer? I still had a few minutes left.
You don't have a few minutes
Do I
left.
get an answer as I take my seat?
No, what will happen is, no, at the end, if one of us chooses to address your question,
You will?
it'll happen at that time.
Okay, I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Thanks to the ordinance, me and my family was able to stay a bit longer because we just got hit with the 60-day notice recently within the ordinance. But we were just told by our landlord that we were going to get hit with another 60-day once the ordinance is due.
What was the increase for the 60 days that you just received?
They just decided not to continue our rent-to-rent agreement.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Are you saying that they gave you a notice that your rent will be increased since the moratorium's been in effect?
Well, we got increased twice before the ordinance.
Before,
And we just got our 60 days recently in April 26th. So just my question would be, after the ordinance, what security or what will be done after the ordinance is done?
Okay.
What they did was they extended theirs to fall outside
Right.
of our
Well, there, before our 60 days ends, there's going to be a extended. If we vote on it, there could be a more long-lasting housing protection ordinance in effect. Okay, that has not been decided at this time. I will be coming back to council with a final recommendation, and at that time, everyone will know before the 60 days ends.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
because they just told us once the ordinance is done, we're gonna hit you with another one.
I get it. Okay. Okay, then we'll close public comment. Council comments, Councilman Dodson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no comments except for Happy Mother's Day and thank you for coming out.
Councilman Padilla, District 2.
Great, so I get those 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Thanks, George. Look, a couple of things. Number one is I want to thank everybody that came out last Friday night to celebrate, the Knights of Columbus Cinco de Mayo Fiesta dinner. My wife Stella and I helped put all that together. It was a huge success. A lot of community residents from Inglewood and the surrounding area that came out to support the event. It was a record-breaking crowd. We're having a meeting tonight to go over it, but I know we broke the record for the most dinners served for any of these events at the Knights of Columbus that we have our Friday night dinners. So thank you for everybody. Our 50-50 split the pot rose to over $1,300. So again, that was another huge success. All this is going back to the proceeds back to our scholarship fund. So thank you to everyone that came out, our city treasurer, Wanda Brown was out there, Councilman Franklin, and others. So thank you so very much for coming out and showing your support. Also, last Thursday, I had a chance to attend, bless you, Dia de los Niños. It's a day to celebrate, a Hispanic day to celebrate the importance of education with our children, to make sure that we focus on their abilities to learn and to read, write, all those STEM things that we teach our children. That was held at Saminsky Park. It was put together by an organization that's active here in Inglewood called Alianza. And so I want to thank Maria Smyton and the Alianza group for putting that together and inviting us to be out there for that. This past Saturday, the mayor and I had an opportunity to attend an art exhibit called Shapes and Colors, put together by our very own District 2 resident, there he is, Sidney Tuggerson. And there was a lot of great artwork that was in display. It was held right here at Beach and La Brea. And so I want to thank everybody that came out to show the support. There was supposed to be a picture there with the mayor and I and a group, and but it didn't make the cut. Hey, you guys back there, you're making me look bad. And then, you know, and then just a shout out also to my my nephew.
Wow, Alex, I was in one of those pictures too.
I know you were, but look, this one
But-
made
but-
the cut. My nephew at his first communion. So congratulations to Xavier. And it's a, you know, so that one made the cut. You know, but the guys in the back are see, they're getting back at me now. I know they're back there laughing, having a good time. They're like, wow, we got them. You know, but all that being said, hey, you guys back there, get that picture up there. Save me. You know, I want to wish all the mothers a blessed Mother's Day. Every single day, in my opinion, is Mother's Day. I know it's officially on Sunday, May 12th, but also for the Hispanics, we celebrate Mother's Day on Friday, May the 10th, Dia de las Madres. So again, happy Mother's Day to everyone, and enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.
You know what? I'm sorry I ever put these TVs up here.
Come on, you guys, get that picture.
Councilman Franklin
Yes.
from District 4.
Thank
We'd
you.
love to see your photos.
You know what? I don't have a private photographer like others do. You know?
Boom.
As far as Happy Mother's Day, I just want to acknowledge that's celebrated every day at our household, because when you don't have a happy wife, it becomes a rough time at our household. So Happy Mother's Day to everyone on a regular basis. Like she tells me about her birthday, it's every day. I also want to acknowledge and congratulate the Inglewood Area Minister Alliance, celebrating their 36th annual National Day of Prayer and Breakfast. Their theme was, Lord, whatever you do, whatever you're doing this season, don't do it without us. John 15:5. Very outstanding attendance. Good message was provided for us to encourage us to continue to stay strong and stay unified. In addition, I want to reach out to the Children of Promise, private elementary school. They had a significant fundraiser. They were able to achieve over and beyond their level of expectation on the funding they needed for field trips and other things they needed for the school. Then finally, I want to reach out to Sandra Green Hilliard, who is also one of the coordinators for the City of Inglewood's Relay for Life program. For those that are cancer survivors, such as myself, there was a special event that was held at Skaminsky Park this past Saturday, in which we were honored as survivors and continue to carry the legacy of motivation that the fight continues for all of us, and that we're actually going to have the city's Relay for Life event at Crozier Middle School on Saturday, June 29th. So please save the date and please get out and join us and support us. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Morales, District 3.
Thank you, Mayor. What was I going to? Oh, I have a re-grand opening of Ash Park on Saturday, this Saturday, the 11th. and I'm mentioning it because, of course, everybody's welcome to show up. But the city has invested $1.6 million into redoing that little pocket park. And I just wanted, oh, there you go, the flyer. But I wanted to point out the fact that, there was years we couldn't even come close to fixing our parks. There were years we couldn't get a backboard. There were years, that our parks didn't have nets on the hoops. And I just wanted to say that this is extra special. I grew up playing at that park, and it's needed a facelift for a long time. It's something we're really proud of, and right here, I want to thank the council for being so supportive in redoing that park, and Boy Treese out of Public Works, who is lined up to make that timeline, and we're coming on Saturday regardless if Boy Treese finishes or not, but he's pretty much done. But I definitely want to say that it's symbolic to us of where the city is going, because once you start dealing with the real quality of life issues and giving the residents what they deserve, it starts to symbolize that we're getting to where we want to be. So thank you all for that, my colleagues. Rain or shine, we'll be there. Also, happy Mother's Day to every mother in the city of Inglewood and beyond. And I'm lucky enough that I still have my mom, and my colleagues here always remind me of that, and I just want to say that it's a day, that's special for them and everybody else. So happy Mother's Day. That's all I got, Mayor.
I want to thank everyone that called and texted me about the accident that I was in last Tuesday. I was headed to speak at an economic summit at USC to talk about the city, and making a left into Party Way, I was in an accident, and the impact knocked my car into a motorcycle officer from the city of Los Angeles, and I escaped unharmed with the exception of a bloody nose. And when I got out of the car and I saw that the motor officer and his motorcycle had been knocked into the fountain, I was just heartbroken. And the other parties were uninjured. They walked away from the crash. But the motor officer suffered at least a broken leg and a broken rib, but he was coherent and he'll make a full recovery. But I just wanted to tell everyone that my heart is broken, and it goes out to that officer who was just sitting there. I was a motor officer myself, and I was hit twice by cars. It's a dangerous job, and I just wish him a speedy recovery. And for whatever fault is to be assessed in this accident that is mine, I accept it. But just the best to that officer. And I want to nominate Keoka Childress Horton on behalf of Councilman Alex Padilla to the Housing Advisory Commission. Is there a second?
In concurrence.
Concurrence.
Second.
Second, yeah.
Madam Clerk.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.